Hello. Now we are going to talk about why fetch makes you wait twice. And the two awaits I'm talking about are the first one, when you actually make the request and you get a response. And the second one is when you say, I want to make this a JavaScript object and read it as JSON. Who here has written these two lines of code before? That's basically everyone. So yeah, that was the first one and the second one. And we already have the response, right? Why do we need to do the second one? We have the response, right? Is it just that parsing JSON is super slow? And the answer to that is no. You can do that synchronously. And it's not specific to JSON either, because you have to do this if you want text, and even if you want raw binary data. So what is it that fetch actually returns? And the answer to that is it returns a response object. And the response object has methods that you can use to read the body. Those are the ones we saw before. And what do we get if we just log the response object? You get something that looks like this. I've prettified it a little bit because JavaScript's console log is weird. But it says that the request was successful. You got a 200 response. Here are the headers you had. This is the URL you called. You were not redirected. And then it says the body is a readable stream. And what does that mean? So what is a stream in JavaScript? Basically, you can picture it as a water hose or a stream of water where data is water, and you're putting it in on the one end, and it comes out on the other. So you have you can put water into it, and it comes out. It may also be easier to think of this as actually putting boxes of data on a conveyor belt, and it goes through, and you can consume them. It's important to note that once you take a box out of a stream, it's been used. That's why if you call JSON twice on a response, it says body has already been used. There's an error. What do we actually send back and forth when we call fetch? So when we make the first HTTP request, what we're sending is just a text file encoded as binary that says get the route, and we want JSON in return. There's nothing magic about this. The only thing you're sending to the server is this text file, and some other headers probably. But what you get in response is also not magic. You only get a text file. And it first says, here are the headers, like success, and we're sending you JSON. We're sending you this much JSON. And then you get all of the JSON as data. So the important bit here is that fetch will return as soon as the headers have arrived, while the actual content and the JSON could still be on its way. Yes. And one thing that we tend to forget these days is that the internet actually takes time to do things. You have to send data over the wire. It doesn't arrive all at once once you make a request. It might seem that way because websites are super fast these days. You click enter on your address bar and just a website shows up. But there is it's being sent bit by bit over the wire. So what we're going to do is we're going to simulate a super slow connection. And I am going to make an express web server. And once you call it, I'm going to immediately say, it's OK, you're getting JSON. And then I'm going to open up a JSON file, and I'm going to read it as a stream from the server. And when the stream is ready, we're going to read 1 byte. And then I'm going to write that to the response that I'm sending back to the user. And when we're done, we're going to close the stream and say we are finished. And we're going to read 1 byte and do that every 5 milliseconds, which is a speed of 0.2 kilobytes per second. So dial-up in the 1970s was about 50% faster than this. But we are reading a relatively small file. If you had a bundle size of 200 kilobytes, you would probably be reasonably happy, right? And 1080p video today is 3.5 times this file every second. So we are sending a lot of data. So yeah, now we're just going to, these slides are a website, by the way, so now we're doing an actual fetch call. We are running JavaScript. So we're going to run those 2 lines. First, get the response, then try to get the data, and we're going to see what happens. Yeah. Okay, that's not super fun, right? Some of you may have done a little bit of math and realized that this is going to take 17 minutes to finish. And I don't have that much time left in my presentation, so we are going to try a better way, and that is by streaming it. And since the body of the response is readable stream, and we get the response right away, then we can consume the data from the stream directly. And now we're going to run these lines, which is first, say, get the response. Then we're going to make a text decoder, because when we read from the stream, we get binary data, and we have to turn that into text. And then we are going to say, every time we get a byte of data from the stream, you're going to decode it as text, and you're going to attach it to the string that we already have. And that looks like this. So this is binary data being streamed from the server onto this laptop, and we are decoding it and showing it to the user. So both of these methods will take 17.5 minutes to finish, but at least for the last one, you are getting content that you can show to the user. And as Thomas talked about, this is what something Next is starting to do now, where you can stream data to the user on the client components. So streaming is pretty cool. But should you stream everything? No, I don't think so. Regular way is fine for most things, like normal web pages loading. Yes, normal web pages and fetching small files, stuff like that. But you should consider streaming if you have extra large payloads, such as movies. Imagine if you went to Netflix to watch Oppenheimer and you have to download the entire 3-hour movie before you could hit play. That wouldn't be very fun. And also, if you have small speeds, if you know that your users are going to be in remote locations and it's critical that every bit of data is used, then do streaming. And that's why I have to wait twice. Thank you very much.